where are you serious? I'm like, yes, like they literally just chased us. My channel is Marie. So today we're gonna be doing another story time. So we have our little special guest Malaya here with us. Say hey. Anyways, so pretty much you already see by the title what this story time is going to be, so let's get straight into the video. Okay, so I believe this story or this specific situation it's not funny. Well, it wasn't funny, but it's kind of funny now. But this specific situation happened, I think it was last year or the year before. So pretty much before, quarantine and everything, we went to church and stuff. So usually I would drive like myself to church. Like we wouldn't all drive as a family. So it would be me, my sister, and then I would pick up Celia. If you guys know, I don't think she's been in any of my videos, but yeah, so it would be me, Faith, and Celia, and pretty much we all sang together on the praise team. So I'll pick her up in the morning for church. So I picked her up and we're driving, and like right before you get on the freeway, it's like a stoplight. Sorry if you guys hear noise in the background too. I am outside in my backyard recording. It's a nice day, so I wanted to record back here today. But anyways, back to the story. Yeah, so right before you get on the freeway, there's a light. And so I noticed at the light, like it was, no. Okay, so there's a light and we're turning onto the freeway, and I noticed this car behind me, and I could tell that she's going off. And so I'm like, not really paying attention. I'm thinking like, oh, because she had like a teenager in the car with her. So I'm thinking like, oh, maybe like they're getting in trouble or something. So I turned up the music a little louder. We're singing and having fun. It was a nice day, and I think we were supposed to do something after church. So like we were excited and everything. Okay. So yeah, so I turned up the music. We're all happy and everything. We're singing along to the music. And so I noticed that the lady, like I'm driving, and I noticed the lady on the side, she's like, I'm driving here, this is her car. She's literally like, if I speed up a little bit, she's speeding up. And then so I noticed like she's like going off, and I'm like, but I'm looking straight, and so I just look over, and she's like, looks like she's going off on me. And so I'm looking like, do you guys see this lady over here? Like she looks crazy. So anyway, so I speed up some, because I'm like, let me get away from this lady, because she was speeding and she was like, it was just crazy. So I'm like, let me get away from this lady. So I get away from her, and as I'm driving, I'm looking in the rear view mirror, and she's behind me. So I'm like, okay, let me just get away. And if you know me, and if you ever drove in the car with me, I don't drive crazy, but I know how to drive. So I'm getting away from this lady. So I finally like left her, like I'm away from her. I had to speed up a little bit to get away from her. So I think we're like 2 exits away from the church, and she sorry, this is really irritating me right here. Okay, so we're like 2 exits away from the church, and I see this lady in the rear view mirror again. I'm like, okay, she probably just gonna like speed past me or whatever. So I'm just driving, we're talking, singing, laughing and stuff. And so this lady is coming full speed behind me, and then she switches lanes and she gets on the side of me again. And so I'm like, what is wrong with it? Like, what is wrong with her? Like, I'm like thinking in my head, like, did I do something? Did I cut her off? Or I'm like, all I did was get on the freeway and she was behind me, so I couldn't have cut her off. And so, okay, so yeah, so I'm just thinking, so I didn't do anything wrong. So I'm just driving, and she's on the side of me, and she's like going off crazy. Like, I can't hear her, of course, but she's going off. She's like all like this in the window, and I'm just like, okay, like, you guys see this? And they're like, yeah, like, we see her, like, she's crazy, but we're not really paying attention. Like, it's just like, it's so random, like a crazy lady just driving on the side of us. So then I switch lanes. What does she do? Switch lanes. So I speed up, trying to get away from her. Once again, she starts speeding behind me, and I'm looking at my rear view because I'm like, okay, this is weird. And this lady reaches in the back, just like this, the back seat, pulls out this big old gun. The gun was like to the roof of the car, and she's holding it, going like this in the back. I'm like, okay, yeah, we're outside. I'm like, what is going on? I'm like, Faith and Celia, get down, get down. They're like, what? Well, I'm like, she has a gun. And they're like, what? Where? I'm like, the lady, get down, get down. So Faith is in the back seat like this, down, and then Celia is in the front seat like this, but she's still recording, and she's like this, and I'm over here like Speed Racer. I'm like both hands up on the wheel like this. I'm zooming through lanes. Like, it's literally, I think it's so the freeway is like, you either stay on the freeway or you get off and it's another freeway, but it's only, I think it's 3 lanes. So, and there was kind of a lot of cars, so I'm literally going like this through cars trying to get away, and this lady is speeding up. She's like so close behind me, but I'm like zoom zoom, like literally trying to get away from her. And so they're like, oh my gosh, like, we're all in the car going crazy, but I'm still like, I didn't hit anything. Like, I really have bars when I drive. And so when you get off the exit, because we're getting off the exit to go to the church, so when you get off the exit, it's like this, you stop, there's a stop sign, and one car can go and then the next car goes. There was a car in front of us, the lady's right behind me. I went behind the car, and okay, this is the car, this is my car, this car's at the stop sign, I'm right here behind it. I stopped, I'm like, we gotta go. I went behind this and kept going. Like, I was not, no. And she's still behind me. She did the same thing, holding the gun, and now we're on like we're on a one-way. So when you go through the one-way, there's a light. So we're at the light, it's a red light. And so you can go this way, and then it's a turning where the cars come like this. So it's either you're going this way or you're turning to go towards the freeway. So I'm at the light, there's a car in front of me, the light is red, this lady is zooming down behind me. So I'm like, okay, I just have to run this light. So I went around the car, another car again, ran the light, people were beeping, and I went straight up. And our church is up a hill, so I'm like driving so fast, and since I ran the light, I forgot a part. Okay, rewind. So we're at the light is red, so I did stop, and then the lady, I see her coming behind me, and like, I'm so nervous. They're like, oh my gosh. And so the lady is getting out of her car with the gun in her hand, and you could see the boy in the back. Like, I'm looking in the rear view, you can see the boy, he's like, no, like trying to grab her, tell her to get back in the car. So yeah, you could see the boy telling her like, no, get back in the car and stuff. But she was getting out the car, she had that gun like this. Like, that gun was so big. Like, I never seen a gun that big in my life. I never really seen a gun in my life, like real life. And so then that's when I went around the car, I ran the light, because she was getting out the car. I'm like, it's not going down like that. So I ran the light, people was beeping, and so I drove, like, I put my car in sports mode, and I like zoomed up the church, like the hill to go to the church. And when I tell you, I'm like, get out the car and run inside, we got out the car so quick. I locked the door and ran straight inside the church. We were like, oh my gosh, there was somebody chasing us on the freeway with a gun. And everybody's like, because we get there early because we have to practice and stuff. And so like, it was a couple people there. They was like, where are you serious? I'm like, yes, like they literally just chased us, and we got away because she was getting out the car. Like, we had to tell the story all over again. And then I'm looking out like the windows of the church trying to see if she followed us here. Like I was so scared, like everybody was scared. And so then we ended up calling the police, but it was really nothing they could do because she didn't find us. So yeah, but that's the story time that me, Faith, and Celia got chased on the freeway by a crazy lady who had a gun. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the story time. Let me know if you guys want any other story times, and I will see you guys in the next video.